Oh, hi there, lovely people. Welcome back to my channel, English with Catherine. As you can see, I'm in a different place this week. I'm currently in Edinburgh, one of my favourite cities, actually in the whole world. Have you been to Edinburgh? Let me know in the comments. So I hope you've had a really great week, all of you. We're approaching the season that has less daylight, less vitamin D, and that can be a little bit tricky for some people. And this actually, very cleverly, brings me to the paid partner of this video, which is BetterHelp. Now, just before I tell you about them, I just want to tell you that I have been inundated with emails asking to sponsor our videos, which is absolutely great and very flattering. But I kind of only really want to choose stuff that really relates to you guys and that's relevant. When BetterHelp got in touch, I'd already heard about their company. A few of my friends used them. And so I was all ears. Everyone at some point experiences challenges in their lives. This is part of being human. We all come up against obstacles that make life harder. And these challenges can actually prevent you from achieving your goals. They can actually hold you back from doing what you want to do. This is where BetterHelp comes in. These guys can help you with this. It's online therapy with trained professional therapists from the comfort of your own home. You're already having online English classes, some of you, so you're already spending time nurturing that side of your life. So why not also nurture and care for your mental health? People spend hours in the gym working on their physical health, their muscles, their fitness. So why not apply that same level of commitment to your mind, to your mind's health? Each and every therapist at BetterHelp is a trained professional. They don't know you like a friend would or a family member, so they can give you advice that is totally unbiased. That's what unbiased means. You can have the therapy as a video chat. It's so easy. Or you can even message them. If you're more of a reserved person and you don't want to do face-to-face talking, you can message them. Just whatever is most comfortable for you. If you decide they're just not a good match and you don't feel comfortable, you can change the therapist really easily and free of charge. So here's a link on the screen that will give you 10% off your first month of therapy, just to get yourself started with your journey. Most of my friends now openly talk about therapy. It's become very normalized. It's no longer a taboo subject. And that just makes it easier to go ahead and start the journey. To get started, you fill out a questionnaire. And this is great because it helps to personalize your therapy. It helps to assess your specific needs that are personal to you, and then you'll be matched with your lovely therapist. And I think it's worth saying that over 4 million people have used BetterHelp. So BetterHelp are helping to look after the mental health of people across the globe. The link on the screen will get you started. And this discount is just an extra incentive for you to work towards your inner peace, because that's what it gives you. Therapy gives you a feeling of inner calm. And if you've got that, you can kind of do anything after that. Sets you up for any challenge that you want to take on. Even learning English and becoming higher in your level of English can be helped by having a therapy. Start prioritizing your goals. Put your mental health first. Take care and enjoy the journey. So it's interesting that I was just talking about mental health, when actually this video I'm about to teach you really relates to that. Today's video is all about unlocking your confidence. Confidence is what you need. I'm going to give you some tips to help you overcome your problem with confidence. And not having enough confidence really affects your everyday life, especially with speaking English. So situations where you might have to have small talk or deeper conversations with people, if you don't have the confidence, you're going to really struggle with this. When you speak in English, do you ever feel like you're sort of trapped in your mind? You feel like your real personality can't come out and you can't show people that you speak to the real you. That can be so frustrating because then you almost feel like you're two different people. When you speak English, you're a certain type of person, and then in your native language, you are the real you. So what we're trying to achieve here is to make it so that when you speak English, you feel like yourself. This is especially difficult as well for introverted people who spend a lot of time in their mind thinking about things. If you're naturally introverted, speaking English can be even more challenging. But don't worry, I'm going to help you. I really am. I'm going to teach you how to sparkle in every conversation you have. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Number 1, self-confidence. What is self-confidence? What even is that? Well, self-confidence is all related to skill. What you can do and what you can't do. With skill, and to get better at a skill, it's all about practice and doing something more. If you're learning the piano, you've just got to keep playing. Keep playing that piano and you'll get better. If you're learning how to drive, you're not going to learn how to drive without driving, right? You've got to just get out there, do it, and improve. The same goes with socializing, okay, and having conversations. If you don't practice it enough, you're going to feel like every time you speak that it's a voice you don't recognize. You're going to be in your head listening to the voice coming out and thinking, who is that? That's a stranger to me. Try to practice the skill of socializing as much as you can. You can't learn how to socialize by sitting at home and not doing it. You've got to get out there and socialize. If you do this over and over again and socialize as much as you can in English, you will find that your self-confidence will grow naturally. That leaving your comfort zone is the only way you can grow. We can't really grow in life unless we take a few risks. And that is an example of that. The message to really get across to you here is the people that feel the least confident about socializing probably aren't socializing enough. And people feeling the least confident about speaking probably aren't speaking enough. Small talk. So now we're going to talk about small talk, okay? This is the actual socializing, okay? We're now socializing. We're having small talk. Small talk can lead to big talk, we don't call it that, but deeper conversations and conversations with a bit more substance to them. But small talk is a beautiful thing. It helps to warm up the people for their deeper conversation. Now, introverted people do find small talk really pointless. I have to say, I have felt like that before. You know, I'm not sure who said this quote, and I'll put it in the description box. The quote is, "I hate small talk. I want to talk about atoms, death, aliens, the meaning of existence and why we're all here." But try to see the beauty in the smallest things. In the smallest levels of communication with people, there is beauty in that. Small talk is also a really good way of assessing the person you're talking to and working out whether you think that you both would get on and have a really great conversation. It's a really good way to gather data about someone and get the first impression of someone really early. And small talk is very much part of British culture. It happens in every single setting you can think of. In a shop, in a hairdresser, at the bus stop, at work. It's kind of what unites us all together because we don't tend to share that much with each other generally. In our culture, we're quite guarded, we're quite reserved. So small talk is kind of the only communication keeping us all together. Now, I am someone that doesn't like small talk for too long. I like getting into interesting topics to discuss. And I'm the person at a wedding when everyone is just mingling, talking to each other, talking to people they don't know about what they do for a living and, you know, if they have any kids. I'm the one that goes up to people and says, "What would you do if the world was taken over by giant ducks?" And then I look at their face and I think, is this someone I can spend any more time with? No, they look mildly terrified. It's time to leave. So this video is about confidence. So let's talk about how to have small talk. Ask questions. This is very important. You can't have small talk without asking questions, I'm afraid. This will help you find something in common with the person. And that is the whole point of small talk, is to find a common ground to unite yourself with another human being. So if you're in the same city as someone, which I assume you will be if you're having small talk with someone, you can say, which part of that city are you from? And then you can think of something to say about that part of the city. London, Victoria, there's this amazing stationery shop really near the station, just next to the theatre, and it's where I get all my journals from. And then the person might say, journals, so do you keep a journal? Yes, I do, thank you for asking. And then that's me talking for the next hour. It basically involves listening to what the person says, and if they make a statement like, I love something, you can then ask about that. You can follow up what they say with questions. And these questions just help the conversation to flow, okay? I'm going to give you some examples of actually what to say at the end of this section, so keep watching. Be interested. This is really important for the energy. To be more likable, you really need to be interested in what someone else is saying, even if you're not. So get your acting hat on, start acting if you're very bored by what they're talking about, and just sound interested in what they're saying. You can achieve this by being an active listener. And that involves saying things like, wow, that's so interesting. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. Oh, thank you for telling me. I've never ever thought about that before. This lets the person you're talking to know that you're actually interested in what they're saying. This helps to give them confidence. And that's just a really nice thing to do, isn't it? If you can make the other person feel confident, they're more likely to share everything with you. And you can even go towards having a deeper conversation. Awkward pauses. Now, in British culture, we hate awkward silences. We will do anything to fill them. But sometimes it's just part of being human, right? It's natural to have a pause in a conversation. But if you feel that you don't know what to say in that pause and you feel yourself panicking, what you should do is make an observation of the world around you in that moment. Now, this could be a comment about the weather. This could be just a comment about something close to you, like, oh, isn't that a beautiful tree over there? It could be anything, but just try to make an observation using what you have around you, and that will introduce maybe a new conversation. You never know. People are attracted to authenticity. They want to feel like they can trust the person they're with. And that's a very complex thing to analyze, but you can achieve that just literally by coming across as human. You know, it's normal to feel awkward. It's normal to feel uncomfortable with awkward silence. You could show that you're really human by just saying, oh, I'm really nervous. Say you're at a social event where you're networking for business, and you could just be really honest and say, oh, I'm so nervous. I did that once, and it was actually an amazing thing to have said, because the other person was also really nervous. We were new to this networking thing. You know, you're supposed to just be so professional at it. Well, that's not how we felt. We felt terrified. And by sharing that information with each other, we actually bonded over that shared feeling. And then we just got on like a house on fire after that. We just really, really hit it off. We were talking for ages. So sometimes you just have to find the common ground, even if it's something you feel embarrassed about. Also, something to tell you that I absolutely love is that no one remembers what you said. They remember how you made them feel. Feelings are way more important. The energy is way more important than the content of your speech. If you forget what you're going to say and you end up stuttering or stammering, it's really, really not the end of the world at all. It will, if anything, make you more human, more likable, and more easy to relate to. So I'm now going to give you some examples of small talk. As I said, small talk happens in most environments in life here in the UK, and work is a very important place to know how to have small talk. So here are some examples of what you could say. How's it going with your new assistant? We use how's it going a lot in small talk. How's it going with something? How's it going with your new project? Or even, how's your new project going? What's new? What's new? That's a nice way of saying, how are you? What's been happening in your life? Have you made any progress with your new project? Have you made any progress with your new project? We use have you made. Make sure you get the right verb there. Make or do is something people make mistakes about. So, have you made any progress with your new project? We ask about progress a lot in small talk, just to ask for updates, and the other person often quite enjoys filling you in on what's been going on, and it's a really nice way to have small talk. These questions can be used in any small talk, in a hairdresser's, at the bus stop, anywhere. How's your day been? How's your day going? Got any plans after work? Up to anything fun? Did you have a good weekend? We ask about the weekend a lot. This is very, very important in British culture. Now, here are some example answers. We've just done some questions, so here are some answers for you to have a look at. I went camping on Saturday, but of course it rained all day. Was your weekend any better? I'm okay, thanks. feeling a bit under the weather, but hey ho, just gotta keep at it. I've just gotta keep at it. That's got to blended together to become gotta. And what about if you pick up your child from school and one of the mothers is waiting outside and they want to talk to you and you're thinking, oh my God, what do I say? So sometimes they could ask you, how's your child getting on? And that means, what progress is your child making at school? How's everything going? Are they making friends? Are they enjoying their classes, their teachers? And you can say, yeah, he's doing really well, thanks. He's always full of beans when I pick him up from school, so I think that's a good sign. Here's a response to someone asking about your day. It's been a mad one, actually. It's been absolutely crazy. But I've managed to get a lot done and it's been really productive. And lastly, another answer to someone who's asking about your weekend. It was a fairly quiet one for me, just caught up on some life admin and took it fairly easy. Small talk hacks. Just to make sure the small talk goes even more smoothly and even more naturally, and for you to feel even more confident. We do some things, okay, and I'm going to tell you what they are. Number one, tag questions, okay? So if you don't know what tag questions are, you should really research the construction. They are a little question that go on the end of a statement, and they don't necessarily require an answer. They just help to make the sentence flow into the next sentence and help the conversation flow as well. So for example, when we're talking about the weather, we say, it's a lovely day outside, isn't it? It's a lovely day outside, isn't it? And that isn't it is a tag question. We've just tagged it on the end, and we don't need that person to say, yes, it is. But very often the person is invited to say, yeah, it's lovely. It just helps to create a nice energy between two people. Number two, fillers, okay? Fillers help, you guessed it, to fill the gaps when you're speaking. So they could just be, yeah. These kinds of responses that are natural, they are again going to make you sound really human, not like a robot. When someone's talking and you want to show that you're listening, you can be like, yeah, I know. Oh, gosh. These kinds of responses are sort of like fillers to make the other person feel more comfortable, actually. I always notice that I feel much more at ease when the person I'm talking to is kind of making the odd sound here and there, not just complete silence. That, for me, unless you're telling a story and you need them to be quiet, that can be really off-putting if someone is too quiet. So just, again, it goes back to the active listening. You want to show that person that you're listening. You also don't want to put too much pressure on that person who's speaking by being too quiet. So use a few fillers to help that person feel a bit more relaxed in your conversation. Well, guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you're now imagining yourself being able to have amazing small talk with people. It is definitely a skill. It's very important, I have to say, but the more you do it, the better you will get. Good luck with feeling more confident. I know you can do it. I'm looking forward to seeing you already next Friday. Have a great weekend. Bye.